what has changed since the last time we met? Because I can tell that now you've gone more Zoom, but what else?
Well, maybe a couple of parts to that question is in the way that we've adapted our classroom for COVID using a new online tool that has changed the way that we talk and meet, and as well the way we have assignments and materials. And we've always had Google Classroom, but some of the structure and the ability to use these tools has kind of forced the teachers to go back to the classroom and learn and develop just like the students. So we have become kind of more equals in this new WebEx or Zoom environment. And I'm happy that all of them coming from where they do, speaking the languages they do, we've all kind of learned and struggled and come together. And that's been an exciting stage that we are now matured, and we're well into the second round of well, third since we've met you, Franklin, with Zoom. So this is all very much a standard platform that I think would help the college, the students. It's an option and it's part of the program now, and we're in stride with it.
A lot of things actually, Franklin, have remained the same. Our food service program, continues to see students, becoming really well prepared to work in this sector of employment. Even in a pandemic, we're seeing a lot of students, getting some very practical experience and find, that they're reaching their goals. So yeah, Gary is right. We've adapted the way that we're doing that. We're mostly meeting online, and when we can, we meet in person. But we're still seeing students doing their practicums in person. We're setting up some new partnerships with organizations that are going to continue to need people working in food service, like long-term care. But in terms of what's changed, yeah, Gary's right. We're moving online, and as a result, I would say we're seeing a lot of people growing in their computer skills, which is also really important for having those skills for the workplace these days. So yeah, we're excited. People are rising to the challenge and finding that they're still able to learn, and we've shifted a little bit, but we're still seeing a lot of growth in reading, writing, listening, speaking, some really practical, essential skills.
Maybe to add, just like Franklin, and we just did an example right there. When we have 5 or 6 or 8 different people all on the same screen, it's a little different than a classroom where a few people can talk at the same time. Coordinating your communication to be effective and organized has also been an emphasis and kind of an indirect benefit of the online environment. Yeah. And so I've been doing more of that training as we prepare our students for job interviews. That when you get a question, being in a classroom or in front of people is a little different than the pressure we feel online to be effective and organized and clear in our answers, knowing that we might even be recorded.
Right. One of the nice things about this program and a lot of our employment programs, the numbers are small enough that we can give a lot of individual attention to students and giving them support and helping them reach their goals. So like Gary said, interview skills, we're doing some resumes and cover letters and right now and preparing, even to do online applications, which can be a little challenging sometimes. And so supporting students in all of those ways, as well as giving them a lot of good information about working in food service, business communication, leadership. Gary covers a lot of great topics in his classes. Students love it.
You guys want to talk about the practicum and the job opportunities, like the case of Naheem, who is now working, and we're going to be talking to her after this?
Yeah, good. I'm glad you're going to talk to Nermeen. She's Nermeen is one of the graduates who was actually offered work from one of her her work experience employer, And so our program, of course, is 6 months, and that last month is spent with an employer. So we've seen students, find work at, working in food service at a fresh food market, or, in these times where the restaurant industry has been so impacted, we've seen a lot of students interested in working in long-term care and healthcare, where people are going to continue to need to have these services. So we've seen some students, work with, we also bring in a local chef in our program now to work with students in person when we can, or online if we can't, but giving them some really practical knife skills. And what do you want to add to that, Gary?
Well, the wheels are turning from your first question, frankly. What have we changed in the course? And well, the course that we developed and structured came with a lot of discussion and thought, and we've kind of fine-tuned a few elements, but it stands as a fairly solid diploma program for students to receive that concept background and practical applied understanding. But here's what I wanted to say. Given the COVID backdrop, and that this course is for supervisors, I've really emphasized more what that responsibility as a supervisor means is that you need to be generating ideas and solutions to problems. You need to be thinking and analyzing and observing, and with COVID and many restaurant operations having to adapt their business or fail, a supervisor is one that would now say, well, how many people do we need? What should we do to deliver? How or what menu items can we make more easily? How can we continue and survive as a business? So I've done more of that emphasis on problem solving, providing ideas, and generating business solutions in that role of a supervisor. And that's a very challenging standard of education, because you first have to teach about these things, then have them understand these things, and now they're applying and using these things. And COVID has been one scenario. We've challenged our students, what would you do if you were this business and now have to operate in a COVID environment? What would you do if the government now says we can do 50% capacity? Who do you bring back? What menu items do you now add? And so this has been one of the things that we've fine-tuned and taken advantage of, even in a kind of challenging time.
I wanted to add to that, like Gary's saying, in terms of making it practical, whether students are going to start as a supervisor or start in another position and move up to that, we want them to have a lot of these both basic and higher level thinking skills and some practical skills. So we've actually partnered with a local charity as well to give students the opportunity to be in a commercial kitchen even before their work experience, and working with a charity that's making food for some vulnerable people in our community. And it's a win-win, right? For them to gain that experience and also support other people in the community. So
that I believe in these times that food preparation and restaurant experience, despite the challenge of COVID, is popular in contemporary life and hobbies. The cooking shows on TV, and as I was at the dentist on Monday and got to watch a Netflix show, it's a new one called Restaurants on the Edge. And they go around the world and they help raise the business to a new standard, develop new items, train their people on how to serve, develop their reputation, and succeed as a business. So I was watching these episodes, and benefiting from the food service program is also now a phenomenon of popularity to people wanting to understand business and learn about restaurants and food. So we're able to draw on that hopefully as well in the popularity of the program and more students.
My main message that I'd really like to share is for newcomers who are thinking about what their next steps are. If they're thinking this might be a program for them, we're big on making it practical so that they can take those tools and those skills and the confidence they're building and go into the workforce with that, whether in food service or if maybe they'll take another path, but we want to really make this practical for them. So if you know somebody who's thinking about joining us, there's room for more students in our program from March until August. And there's actually some funding available. So if, for those who might find it difficult to pay for a program like this, there's some really great financial support that they can explore with the college. So they'll want to do that by the end of January 2021 so that they can join us in March. And we'd love to have more. We just love to support people in their goals.
So to conclude, do you guys want to talk a bit more about the program? What is it, how long, what exactly happens in the program for those who are listening to this for the first time?
Well, it's a 6-month program. So we run it from September to February each year, and also from March to August. So the first 5 months is in-class learning, whether that's in person or online. So that's split between Gary and I, and then the last month is this very practical work experience month where they partner with an employer who gives them, an opportunity to work in food service with a business that they're interested in. And Gary, do you want to talk a little bit about how we divide, like what you focus on, and for me as well?
There are about 30 different topics relating to food service, professionalism, business, leadership, communications that they learn about from many textbooks, from learnings, from our experience. And then in the afternoon, they are challenged to apply them and develop those skills in actual scenarios and situations and answering and deciding. And these are the things we want them to leave the program after 5 months with: some knowledge about things, some ability to do things, and also position themselves more confidently with these skills. So that if there are 6 people applying for a job, we are mindful that the benefit of this program should have them feel like they offer value, can step in and be confident in a job, and an employer will select them because they present themselves well, they're willing to work with others. And then the program, the 6th month, is an actual work placement where we coordinate and cooperate with some partners to place our students where they are able to provide some work for the outplacement, but an assessment. How well did they do? Tell us a little about what you would have liked them to come more prepared as, or tell us why they were good. Monica can add to that a little.
Yeah, I mean, everything is a learning opportunity. So we're giving feedback through the whole course, right? On all the topics that we're covering, and including in that work experience, it's a chance for the employers to say, this is where you shine, and this is where you can continue to grow as you go into the workforce. So yeah, so where Gary focuses on a lot of those topics, I'm looking at essential skills and some English language learning skills, a lot of the conversation and the ability to to both read, write, and speak in those situations where we might face a difficult customer, or have to make a big decision, or have a tough conversation with a coworker. So we want to have students with those skills to be able to do that. So that's my focus.
I just mentioned the real value again of the program might be that they have a coach in their corner supporting their development. And every time we talk with them in class, it's like having an experienced work professional Canadian-based coach to help them individually in whatever they need to learn, to develop, and lift themselves up. So at the end of a program or school or a diploma, it's not that you have something on your wall or a lot of books in your closet that you never look at again. These are things that change you and have you positioned for more success in this life and culture?
That's so good,
Thank you very
Gary. And I
much.
think that's why we love what we do, right? We have the joy of seeing people grow in their skills, grow in their confidence, so that they can reach their goals for themselves and their families. And I think maybe one thing to add is that at the end of this 6-month program, one thing that might be unique about Solomon College is that we've got staff that will continue to support people when they leave the program and continue to help them if they need some help getting ready for an interview, or there's a number of ways in which we can help see them succeed even when they're done. So the support doesn't end after 6 months. What's that, Gary?
Being a reference.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we love providing references for our students for jobs. They're so hardworking and so determined to succeed. So it's a joy to support them and seeing them succeed.
Thank you very much, Gary and Monica, and we'll send you guys a link when we edit, and thanks for your responses. I will talk to Naheem, then go from there. Yes.
I learned very important things. I learned about food safety, first aid, management, leadership, learning about supervising, developing employees, marketing, business, communication.
So how did the training help you to find the work that you are working today?
The program improved my skills. I have never worked in food service industry before, but what I learned from the course, it helped me a lot to have a job in the food service.
How did you get the job?
They brought me 1 month training in this place. I'm working for edible arrangement. This is store for fruit and chocolate dipping fruit. I had 1 month training there, and after that I worked with them. Training there, and after that I worked with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
The school help you to get the work experience?
Yes, this is it was a training. They give me experience, and I have 5 certificates from this course. Food safety, first aid, protect, serve, and WMAS. In my work now,
yeah.
First, I'm working now with teamwork. I learned from this course about teamwork, and we sanitize. We received protect and I use the dipping chocolate dipping in this store.
Anything else before you go?
I recommend this course for anyone newcomer in Canada. This is good beginning if you want to have a job in the food service industry.